What's up out there in Brotherland? That's a beautiful land filled with bros. Probably a ton of golden retrievers too. Not a lot of ladies though. Might have to give a tax incentive for them to move in. But that's not Esper land though. That's a shard of Alara, dude. It's a tough place to live in, filled with removal and counter spells. Let's talk about some sweet Esper commanders. That's black, white, and blue. And it's a phenomenal color combination. But first, listen man, you gotta subscribe to the channel, alright? That's it, the sweet sound of subscription. Relish that sound, my dudes. Over 15,000 of you out there, and I appreciate every single one. As always, a special kiss and snuggle for my members and patrons. You guys keep me warm at night, brother. So Esper as a shard is super interesting. You get mediocre ramp, excellent card draw, and premier and efficient removal and counter magic. You also have two of the best colors for board wipes, two of the best colors for aristocrats, probably the best colors for blink, two of the best colors for mill out there, right? Lots of token doublers too. Lots of ways to go, so let's dive in with Tivit. Now this handsome fella is the Seller of Secrets, 3 white, blue and a black, legendary creature Sphinx Rogue, has flying ward 3 and is a big old fat 6/6 out there, dude. Has Council's Dilemma. Whenever this guy enters or deals combat damage to a player, starting with you, each player votes for evidence or bribery. For each evidence vote, investigate. For each bribery vote, create a treasure token. And while voting, you may vote an additional time. So pretty much every turn, you're creating 5 tokens, right? Provided you can get in for damage. And this guy's a big old flyer, so probably can get in for damage. This voting mechanic isn't super well supported, but there are a few cards that lead into it. You have cards like the Ballot Broker, Brago's Representative, both allow you to create an additional token. That's going to be 6, dude. Of course, Expropriate exists, and the treasures might help you get there, though it is 9 mana. Illusion of Choice is a good one. You decide what to get into. Maybe you want those treasures, There are a couple fun ones to vote on. Talked about Expropriate. Most of these aren't just any good, There's just not a great support for this mechanic in general. Plead for Power ain't bad. The special guest Expropriate is under $10. Just saying, take a look at that. Kind of looks like AI slop to me with that weird coin in the corner of his hand though. Don't sleep on the clues though, brother. Clues have a ton of synergy pieces. Forensic Gadgeteer has that great ability. Activated ability of artifacts you control costs 1 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1. So all those little extra clues you have can refill your hand for a very small mana investment. Most of your opponents are going to say, hey, let's give them a clue. That's a little harder to deal with than the treasure. Little do they know. Now, just the fact that you're creating all those artifacts can lead to some Voltron goodness. Your commander has 6 power, flies, and has ward out there, so cards like Nettle Cyst and all that glitters fit right in to stack in a lot of damage. There are also various drain effects. You can take advantage of these clues and tokens going in and out. Marionette Master, the newly minted Apprentice, can also help you drain the table as you power up and draw cards. Nadir's Nightblade, Mirkwood Bats. These are diesel drain engines too, brother. Tivit, I'm telling you, man, he's great on a budget. I built the list a long time ago, and it is fantastic. Could probably be updated with some of these newer cards, but check it out. Now let's turn our heads to a pretty unique commander in these colors, and coming in at under $1, Sidar, Jabari of Zhalfir. Those are made up words, brother. 1 white, blue, and a black, legendary creature, human knight. It's a 4/3, has eminence. Whenever you attack with 1 or more knights, if this guy's on the battlefield or in the command zone, draw a card, then discard a card. He's got a nice little looting effect, has flying and first strike. Whenever this guy deals combat damage to a player, return target knight creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this is really the knight tribal commander of your dreams, man. He has that eminence that lets you stack your graveyard with reanimator targets. Isn't too oppressive either. It's only really gonna go off once a turn, I think. But the knight stuff, man, the knight stuff is cheap like Knight's Charge out there. Has 6 white and a black, sacrifice it, return all knight creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. This enchantment is a great way to recover from a board wipe. But there are tons of sweet knights in Esper. Get them into the graveyard, you have that sweet reanimator spell on your commander. Later in the game, reanimate them with a Patriarch's Bidding type effect. Stack some efficient reanimator spells. There are some beefy knight targets too though, most of them are a little cheaper. But you have these cavaliers, they're riding upon their faithful steeds. They're seahorses or whatever, man. Knight Exemplar, other knight creatures you control get +1/+1, have indestructible. That's a good one to tutor into the graveyard with an Entomb effect, right? Herald of Hoofbeats. Other knights you control have horsemanship, of course they do. And this fella's about to trample you into cherry sauce for your meatballs, buddy. Hey, how about a big old flying knight, Elenda and Azor? Swing in with a big fat vampire knight Sphinx. Has flying, ward 2, and it's a 6/6. Whenever this thing attacks, you may pay X white, blue, and a black. If you do, draw X cards. At the beginning of each end step, you may pay 4 life. If you do, create a number of 1/1 black vampire knight creature tokens with lifelink equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. Very unique Esper commander. Cheap to build. Most of these are under $1. Say goodnight. Yeah, that's right. Say goodnight, you idiot. How about Ertai the Corrupted? 2 white, blue, and a black. Legendary creature, Phyrexian human wizard. It's a 3/4. Has blue and tap. Sacrifice a creature or enchantment. Counter target spell. Altered by the Phyrexian science. Corrupted by black mana. And twisted by rage. Ertai still looked in the mirror and saw only glory, dude. Now this guy goes all the way back to plane shift. That was a different time, brother. The planes were shifting all over the multiverse. It was those darn Phyrexians, and Ertai is one. This fella's just a little more open-ended, but he has a sacrifice ability right on his big old scarred up pizza face, dude. Looks like he just received some Turkish hair plugs out there. Ladies out there, give some love to the bald dudes, alright? We have our own struggles. So you can get real mean with this guy. Put lots of nice token producers out there, stack death triggers that drain like Sir Conrad, Zulaport, Sadomasochism, Dungeon Master out there, those types of things. If you want to get real mean and stacksy, grab a Grave Pact, Dictate of Erebos and the like to keep the board clear, as well as sling and counter magic abilities all over the place. Ertai is more emblematic of what Esper can do. This guy's real oppressive, man. You also have these kind of crappy enchantments that you don't want hanging around too long. Hatching plans, right? Draw 3 for 2 mana, and the 1 to activate Ertai, but you're also countering something. It's fantastic, dude. It's 3 mana, 3 cards. Treacherous Blessing. Draw 3, sack it when Johnny, want to cast a spell, gets frisky over there. You also have some permanents that pay off countering spells like the Lol Mage Mentor. This guy's 1 blue, Merfolk Wizard, it's a 2/2. Whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may create a 1/1 blue Merfolk creature token. Tap 7 untap Merfolk you control, counter target spell. Merfax, I call them, because they know the facts of life, dude. This guy, he's carrying a scroll into the Lake of Doom, and that's larceny, brother, but he provides fodder for Ertai's ability. You want an owl mixed with a dang Tyrannosaurus? This isn't the street fighting American flat top, but it is Guile. 3 blue, creature, elemental incarnation. It's a 6/6. Can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. If a spell or ability you control would counter a spell, instead exile that spell, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. When this guy's put into the graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. Listen, man, nobody play anything for gosh sakes, alright? I'm gonna counter it. I'm telling you right now, and then I'm gonna exile it and I'm gonna cast it. Alright? Now, of course, you do have some really good untappers out there, but Drum Bellower, it's gonna make sure everybody's really uncomfortable on their turns. Ertai, dude. Watch out for this fella. Now, he did get that hair transplant a little later on, which is nice for him. Got a little makeover out there. The Phyrexians, they shave you bald, dude. Now, this guy's a little pricier at $5, but showcases the versatility of Esper commanders, and that's Marneus Calgar, 2 white, blue, and a black, legendary creature, Astartes warrior. It's a 3/5 with double strike. This guy's a master tactician. Whenever 1 or more tokens you control enter, draw a card. He's also the chapter master. Create 2/2 white Astartes warriors creature tokens with vigilance, with villainousness, dude. And vigilance. Make tokens. Doesn't take a PhD to figure this one out. That native double strike on this guy is great for dealing damage too. So you can literally just go with token creators in this deck, but there are a number of combos centering on this guy and lots of ways to tutor him out in these colors. Training Grounds reduces the cost of the ability. Ashnod's Altar lets you make the requisite mana to activate the ability, and that's better commander, dude. Pay that off with a variety of drain effects. Just keep drawing until you get one, slap it out there. Keep in mind though, that ability is not a May ability. You may want to pack that Laboratory Maniac, Thassa's Oracle, or that 1 Jace card. Now if you don't want to get in a combo, it's just an insane value engine. Tokens, brother. Esper tokens. Fantastic. You have all these token doublers too if you want to spend 4 kidneys and the Excelsior Diamond for a Mondrak. Alright, let's move on here to Saruman of many colors. This guy's 3 white, blue, and a black. Legendary creature, avatar wizard. It's a 5/4, and he's down on the Pride Day Parade, dude. Ward, discard an enchantment, instant, or sorcery card. Whenever you cast your second spell, each opponent mills 2 cards. When 1 or more cards are milled this way, exile target enchantment, instant, or sorcery card with equal or lesser mana value than that spell from an opponent's graveyard. Copy the exiled card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Alright, couple things with this guy. First of all, beautiful art, man. Looks like a Led Zeppelin album cover, and honestly, probably would be if they were still together. Goddamn that John Paul Jones, dude. He killed John Bonham. You know that, right? Just kidding, man. What an incredible artist, man. What an incredible group. Anyways, I don't want to talk about Led Zeppelin all day. It's a very difficult build around. It's tough to even parse, you know? Like, what is it referring to? It's referring to the second spell. So if the second spell you cast is a 3-drop, you exile target enchantment, instant, or sorcery card with equal or lesser mana value than that spell. That 3-drop from an opponent's graveyard, copy the exile card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So it would have to be 3 mana value or less. This guy benefits from mill. Kind of showcases how tricky Esper decks can be. I did build around this guy leaning into functional mill. You may want to use the cards that were milled, like with the newly minted Abyssal Harvester. This guy has tap. Exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. Then exile all other nightmare tokens you control. Blue and black are excellent mill colors. The best mill colors, I would say, for sure. And you have this fun little deck that lets you cheat out, reanimate, and grab your opponent's stuff. Of course, you have cards like Captain Engathrode. He's great for this, dude. He doesn't care how those cards got milled. Most mill cares about creatures, but Saruman kind of fills in the gaps with instants and sorceries and enchantments and stuff like that. Honestly, the mill and removal shell in these colors functions really well, even if you just leave him in the command zone. Most mill effects care about creatures, but this guy kind of shores that up. It's a 6 mana card in any case, man. What you do is you cast him late game when you're consuming aberrations and Geth, Lord of the Vaults, and Dimir doppelgangers are already out there generating value. Anyways, man, happy holidays to you guys out there. That's 5 Esper commanders for your perusal, fun, and enjoyment. I love making these videos. I hope that you were entertained, alright? I hope that if you were thinking about going to build some lesser Esper fool, that this gave you some inspiration out there. And I love you guys, man. I love you guys more than life itself. Nikki G, Better Commander, signing off.